What if I told you that a small-town teacher's willingness to break the law changed how every student in America learns science? Stay until the end to discover how one man's courage in a tiny Tennessee courtroom sparked a revolution in education freedom. July 9, 1925, the small town of Dayton, Tennessee becomes the center of the world's attention. A 24-year-old substitute teacher named John Scopes is about to stand trial for teaching something that millions of students learn every day, the theory of evolution. Picture this: you're John Scopes, a quiet high school teacher and part-time football coach. A few weeks ago, some local businessmen approached you with an unusual request. They want to challenge Tennessee's new law that bans teaching evolution in public schools. All you have to do is admit you taught it. Tennessee classroom, group of concerned businessmen in suits having serious discussion. It's not about making you a martyr. Dayton's economy is struggling, and a famous trial could put their town on the mat. But for you, it's about something bigger. It's about whether teachers should be free to share scientific knowledge with their students. You know what you're risking. Teaching evolution is now illegal in Tennessee. You could be fined, lose your job, even face jail time. But when you think about your students, you realize some fights are worth having. The trial opens with the most famous legal dream team in American history. William Jennings Bryan, three-time presidential candidate and champion of traditional values, leads the prosecution. Clarence Darrow, America's most brilliant defense attorney, fights for Scopes and academic freedom. Here's what makes this moment extraordinary. For the first time in history, a trial is broadcast live on radio. Millions of Americans tune in to hear democracy itself being debated. Can government dictate what teachers teach? Do students have the right to learn scientific theories? The courtroom is sweltering. Over 100 reporters from around the world pack the tiny courthouse. The trial even moves outside when officials worry the floor might collapse under the weight of spectators. Then comes the moment that changes everything. Darrow does something unprecedented. He calls Bryan himself as a witness. For 2 hours, the greatest orator of his generation is questioned about science, religion, and the right to think freely. Scopes loses the trial and pays a $100 fine. But he wins something far more valuable. The case exposes the absurdity of banning scientific education. Within decades, similar laws across the South are struck down or repealed. More importantly, the trial establishes a principle that transforms American education. Teachers have the right, even the responsibility, to share established scientific knowledge with their students. Academic freedom becomes a cornerstone of public education. Because of John Scopes' courage, students across America learn about genetics, molecular biology, medicine, and countless fields that depend on evolutionary science. Every medical breakthrough, every agricultural advance, every biological discovery traces back to the freedom he defended. The next time you visit a doctor who understands genetics, eat food improved through scientific breeding, or see a student excited about biology class, remember John Scopes. One teacher's willingness to stand up for truth created the educational freedom we often take for granted. The Scopes trial wasn't really about evolution versus religion. It was about whether free societies can restrict the search for knowledge. It was about trusting people to think for themselves. What knowledge or truth are you brave enough to stand up for, even when it's uncomfortable? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because history shows us that progress depends on people willing to defend the right to learn and grow. Don't miss these moments when ordinary people took extraordinary stands for intellectual freedom. Subscribe to History Sparks and join our community of curious minds who believe that yesterday's battles for knowledge light the way for today's discoveries. Every story we explore together proves that defending the right to learn is defending the future itself.